Today's story is The Little Old Toymaker.
But before beginning, subscribe to my channel. For more updates, click on the bell icon.
There was once a little old man who lived with his wife in a tiny cottage. He was called Stubby the Toymaker, and he could make the loveliest toys. He liked making tiny toys the best, like small chairs and tables for dolls' house, little beds for tiny dolls to sleep in, and things like that. He was very clever at mending broken dolls too. Whenever a doll's face or an arm or a leg was broken, it was brought to Stubby the Toymaker, and he mended them lovingly. Then came a sad time for the old toymaker. Nobody seemed to want his toy any more. All the children had unbreakable toys. People said that his shop was now old-fashioned, and they went to big new stores in the nearest town to buy toys for their children. But Stubby went on making his little chairs and tables, but nobody bought them. "Stubby dear, I don't know what we shall do," said his little old wife. "We have no money left now. You have not sold anything since 2 weeks. I cannot even afford flour to make breads if I had no money." "Dear me, wife, this will never do," said Stubby, taking off his big round glasses and polishing them. He always did that when he wanted to think hard, and right now he was thinking very hard indeed. "Have you thought of an idea, Stubby?" asked his wife. At last Stubby nodded. "Yes," he said, "but it isn't a very good one. Our shop window is very old and the glass is not good. Perhaps people cannot see my little old nice toys well through it. Suppose we set out some little chairs and tables and beds on the broad top of the old wall outside, then everyone will see them." "That's a very good idea," said his wife. "I'm quite sure that if people saw them, they will buy them. You really do make them so beautiful, Stubby dear." So out went the old toymaker and placed 6 red chairs and tables to match on the top of the low stone wall outside. Then he put 2 small beds there as well, and his wife arranged the tiny sheets, blankets and pillows on each. They did look so sweet. The sun shone down on them, and old Stubby felt quite certain that anyone passing by would come in and buy them at once. But nobody did. Nobody even seemed to notice the tiny furniture. It was most disappointing. "I'll go and fetch them inside after we had our soup," said Stubby. So the two sat down and had a poor soup of 1 cooked turnip out of the garden, and crust of stale bread. It was nearly dark when they had finished. Stubby got up and went out into the garden to fetch the little doll furniture. He walked to the wall and looked down at it in the twilight. To his great astonishment, there was no furniture there. It had gone. He felt all along the wall in dismay, and then hurried back to his wife. "Wife, wife," he called, "all my chairs and tables and beds are gone." "Had someone stolen them?" said his wife, almost in tears. "Oh, what a shameful thing to steal from a poor old couple like ourselves." "Never mind," said Stubby. "It shows someone noticed them anyhow. I'll put some more out tomorrow and keep my eye on them." So the next day he put out a little set of green chair and table to match tiny pink beds. He sat at the window and watched to see that who took his furniture. Nobody seemed to notice them all, and then a strange thing happened. Stubby could hardly believe his eyes. He saw the chairs and tables and beds were walking off by themselves. Yes, really, they just slid down the wall and made off out the gate. Stubby ran out after them. Hey, hey, he called. What do you think you are doing? He made a grab at a chair, and to his enormous surprise, he caught hold of a little whirling creature that he couldn't see.
Let me go! Let me go! Screamed the little creature. Stubby couldn't see. Show yourself then, commanded Stubby, shaking with excitement. At once, a little struggling creature showed himself and became visible. It was a very small pixie. Bless us all, said Stubby, his eyes nearly dropping out with amazement. It's the very first time I've ever seen a fairy. Pray, what are you doing? Stealing my chairs? Oh, are they yours? Said the pixie in surprise.
Brothers, stop carrying out this furniture. It belongs to someone. At once all the chairs and tables were set down, and many small pixies became visible before Stubby. We are really sorry, said the first pixie. You see, we found the chairs and tables and beds on the wall. We thought they didn't belong to anyone, and they were looking so beautiful. We thought our queen will like them. Dear me, said Stubby flatteringly. Did you think they were beautiful? And what did the queen think? Oh, she liked them so much. She said she would like ever so many more, said the pixie. She has a new country house, you know, and she has been looking for everywhere for furniture nice enough for it. Well, said Stubby most excitedly, this is really lovely. Your queen might like my small tiny furniture. And I didn't put my best pieces outside. Oh, of course, we'll tell her about it, said the pixie. Goodbye for the present, old man. Take your chairs and tables and bed. We'll go and tell our queen all have you said. Off they went, and Stubby took his toy furniture into the cottage with him, and told his surprised wife all that had happened. That night there came a knocking at Stubby's door, and Stubby opened it. Yes, the queen, all dressed up in shining moonlight, with a silver star on her hair. She sat on the table and asked Stubby to show all his beautiful furniture he had made. With shaking hands the old man set it out, and the queen exclaimed in delight, "Oh, what a beautiful things you have made!" she cried. "Just the right size for the folk too. I suppose you may be very busy to make things for us. The humans must be so pleasant with your beautiful handwork. You will not have time for fairy folks." Then Stubby told the queen how hard he found to sell anything, and his wife told her how they had in ladder. "We will be so glad if you could buy some of our goods," said Stubby's wife. "I can do better than that," cried the beautiful queen in delight. "Stubby, come and live in our fairyland, will you? Please do. You can make all the furniture from a new country house, and there is no end, for little jobs for your clever fingers could really do beautifully. I believe you could even patch the wings of fairies which get torn." "Oh yes, I could," said Stubby, his eyes shining brightly behind his big spectacles. "I'll come wherever you wish, your majesty." So Stubby and his wife left the fine cottage in the fine morning to fairyland. There the queen gave them a little white house on the hill with 2 pixies for servants. Stubby make beautiful furniture all day long, and he often patched the wings of pixies which were torn. And once a month he dressed himself up very grandly indeed, and so does his wife, for then the queen herself comes to tea, and each time there is a new little chair for her to sit in. She is so pleased with Stubby's work. She used to thank him every time